Folks, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever the case may be.
Whatever you like best.
That's right, whatever you like best. We're on the air, Duane and I, ready to chat about things of importance.
That's right. And things that are semi-important.
And things that are useless. But
pure useless
we're
stuff.
going to talk about them.
Yeah.
So, I have one thing I'm going to lead off with, and I had a little update on it, and it's interesting that I've managed to lose it. Well, anyway, friends, I'm going to tell you a story. Now, I am, as far as the COVID vaccines are concerned, there's part of me that says I'm for mandating it. We defeated smallpox and polio and a lot of the childhood diseases that used to be common, whooping cough and scarlet fever and German measles.
Thousands of kids died from it.
Yeah. So, and it was done with vaccines. There's another part of me that says, well, I hate to be told what I have to do, but the part of me that says this is for the best usually overrides it.
Yep.
Today, I'm going to offer up some proof for you. This is the story of my Remington calendar.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a dandy. In fact, I'll jump ahead and show you February. It's my best picture. The red fox.
The red fox, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I got a couple of those to visit regularly.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Oh, I saw one the other day running across the road. Beautiful animal. So, every Christmas, I try to get a nice calendar for my brother-in-law and one for myself. Well, this year, I saw the ad in Fur Fishing Game magazine for the Remington calendar. Now, you can buy this from Remington Arms at, I think, about $17. That includes shipping. So a fellow, I found out later, down in Pennsylvania, he's a taxidermist. In fact, there's a little tab on the bottom with his advertising information. He buys them from Remington in a large lot and sells them for $8.95 plus, I think, $3.95 shipping. So I bought two of them.
Used to be one of my counts.
Yeah.
Down in Delaware.
Okay. So, I ordered them through, I saw the classified ad in Fur Fishing Game, sent him the money, and I posted it on November 3rd. Well, Christmas comes, and I'm getting a little antsy. So I called my son Patrick. I said, can you find me a phone number for this guy? Well, he comes back with quite a story. Quite a story indeed. He said, Dad, this family is big news down in rural Pennsylvania. He said the father, at age 88, the mother at age 85, and the son at age 55 all died on the same day.
Wow.
Of COVID.
Now that's the Remington family?
No, this is
the artist.
Yeah, no, this is the
Oh, I know.
The outfit that I bought it from.
Okay.
Trophy Crossroads
Ah,
Taxidermy
okay,
Studios in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yep.
Fellow's name was Chapanosky.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that, friends? 3 in the family all died on the same day. The mother died in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
The father and the son were found dead in their beds.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing to fool around
Yeah.
with.
Now, I think what we can read into this is probably none of them were vaccinated.
Yeah. Both the people that I know that died from it. One was
Yeah.
a classmate. One was a cousin's wife or in-law
Yeah.
cousin, and both of them were not vaccinated.
Yeah.
And did not. And one of them was just anti-vaccination. Just preached it constantly.
I found out all the details from this man's daughter, who, going through the father's house, cleaning up, saw his desk, and it had quite a few envelopes piled up. Well, guess what they were? Orders for calendars.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a big, huge box of calendars. So, like a good little doobie, she went through it and sent me the 2 calendars.
That's
Wrote
good.
me a note
Mhm.
and told me what happened. And she said, my father has been doing this for many, many years. She said, and I'm sad to say, I'm not going to carry forth with
Yeah,
it
it's
again.
probably the end, yeah.
So this is going to be the last calendar you're ever going to get. So if I want it from now on, I'll have to buy it from Remington or find somebody else that does it.
Yeah.
Now, the last time I checked, this thing was around, as I say, $11.95 or something like that from Remington, but it was like $4 something in bulk. And of course, you had to have the thing on the bottom
Yeah.
for their advertisement, your advertisement on it, and you gave it out to your customers. So, anyway.
Have
So-
you heard what the status of Remington Arms is? They were in financial trouble from not too long ago.
No, I haven't. No. I know that there's a shortage of lead
Yep.
for bullets. But I don't know. I know that. No, I don't. I really don't. No. I will check up on that, though.
I have a Remington 22 they call the Nylon 66.
Yeah.
And it looks like, when it came out, everybody thought it was a toy because it was, where it was wood, it's plastic. That's what nylon they call it. They don't want you to call it plastic.
No.
It's very light. It's semi-automatic. It worked perfect. It just never misses.
Yeah.
Unless you try to cheat and put 22 shorts in it.
Well, yeah.
Shorts don't feed very well.
No,
through
they
the
don't.
magazine.
And you're right.
Of course, being a kid, and the shorts were only 67 cents a box. That's
Yeah.
what you tried to sneak them in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, friends, that's my story about the calendar. Now, some very sobering numbers came out of CDC this week. Less than 63% of the eligible Americans are fully vaccinated.
I saw that. I thought that's deplorable.
And only 38% have received
Yep,
boosters.
the booster.
So, tough talk from good old Billy here. But if you're not vaccinated, what the heck is wrong with you? I mean, really. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This business about, I'm not going to have the government telling me what to do, and well, does that mean you can drive on the
That's right.
left-hand side of the road if you want to also?
They tell you every day.
Yeah,
But you don't object to, like you say, driving on the right-hand side of the road.
right. Or
You object to paying taxes, but you still do it.
Yeah, or showing a photo ID before you can get on an airplane.
Yeah, or buy a six-pack of beer someplace.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. I mean, come on, grow up, the whole bunch of you. I'm disgusted with you.
All you got to do is look at hospitals, when they put out these statistics, they don't have a political agenda.
No.
When they tell you that 96 or 97% of their patients in the ICUs or are on ventilators are unvaccinated, they are unvaccinated. They're not telling you that to scare you.
Yeah. And you know what, too, you unvaccinated folks? It's not just you.
That's right.
It's you can spread the disease to normal people. Okay?
It's not even just, it's a spreading it, but look what happens if you die or get long-term COVID, you're incapacitated. It affects you, of course, probably your spouse, your kids, your relatives. Look at the grief and the trouble that you're going to put them through. You brought it on yourself in that case, but you don't have any right to make your kids go through that kind of grief.
That's right.
Or your spouse, or somebody else, just
or
because
your next door neighbor,
or your next
or
door
your
neighbor.
best friend, or
best- yeah.
whatever. It just goes on and on. It's a very selfish act, not getting vaccinated.
That's exactly what it is.
So I expect you folks to take that in the spirit that it's offered and go get a shot.
It doesn't hurt.
No. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It
Feel it.
absolutely doesn't.
You don't
In
even feel it.
fact, if you look the other way,
You don't know when they're done.
you don't even, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they'd stop using that word jab.
Yeah.
That stupid Sun Chronicle yesterday, jabs inch up.
Yeah.
Well, there's a certain percentage of people that are afraid of needles.
Oh, yeah.
By calling them jabs, you're not helping anything.
No, why don't they call them drilling?
Yeah, or stabs.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You don't want to call them.
Yeah. Well, Duane, I'm going full bore into the next little subject. You're going to have to explain something to me.
You want me to explain something?
Yep.
Okay.
So, at night, the last thing I do before I go nights, take a shower, and whilst I'm stark naked, hop on my very expensive digital scales,
Okay.
which were in a rack, $84. But someone had slid the price schedule down so that it was in front of the expensive ones. I got it for $22.
Where'd you get that?
Kohl's down
Kohl's,
Walpole.
Yeah.
And they were angry about it. But none of them said, you could have moved that damn sign down. They didn't. I said, it was in front of the scales. I said, you're advertising them for 26 or $7. Then the lady that was the one that the cashier, after the store manager left, she was mad, the store manager. I said, look, you don't have any option on this. You've got to sell it to me at this price. She said, I know. And she huffed off. And the lady said, good for you. And she said, she's gone. She said, I got another surprise for you. You're getting another 20% off today. Well, give it a surprise 20 off. So I bought it for $22. Anyway, I hop on the scales. So, the other night, I was 189. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in the morning, I head for the bathroom to take care of my business, and then hop on the scales. 184.
Yep.
Where does that weight go?
I don't know. And sometimes, I've been dieting for 2 years now since that pandemic started, trying to get my weight under control. I have gained weight at night, too.
Really?
I have. I will weigh. I'll weigh again in the morning, and I'll be a pound or two heavier than I was when I went to bed. I don't know what happens,
Yeah.
but I just accept it. Because what I've learned and what my doctor told me, don't take individual readings as gospel. Take them over a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then say, well, I am 2 pounds down or 2 pounds up, but don't. You can't say, well, one day I was this and one day I was that. And she said, you'll just drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. I have been 184 or 185 for like 11 days in a row.
Okay, that's
So-
good. That's very stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I said, to myself, now 189 down to 184. So now does this stuff go up in the atmosphere? Is this what's causing pollution?
I guess. You do lose weight even if you don't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't go to the bathroom or you don't eat anything, you do sometimes lose weight because you're exhaling moisture. And it doesn't take a lot of sometimes to exhale a couple of pounds of
Is it
fluid.
also, do you think it's burning off food
Yeah.
and the food changes
To heat?
to heat?
Yeah, and then you're expelling the heat along with your moisture.
I knew if I asked you, you'd come up with something
Wait,
logical.
come up with something. Whether it's true or not, it sounded good.
It sounded good as right. Here's a quick little tidbit from a Harris poll. 2/3 of Americans do not want to share their opinions with others.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But the 1/3 make up for it.
they do. They stop.
They're
They
so
they
loud.
non-stop.
Non-stop, so loud and so aggressive and sometimes so obnoxious, you don't think about the other 2/3.
Yeah. I thought that was amazing because a lot of people are intimidated by poll takers, and sometimes they'll give poll takers answers just to get rid of them, but it's not the truth.
You know, Bill, I think they found that out in the last couple of elections.
Yeah.
That it was just, the election was coming out different than all the polls. And they found out that people are saying, oh, I just told them whatever I thought they wanted to hear. I just told them some crap.
Well, Jerry Falwell's silent majority
Yeah.
proved that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting little tidbit here. Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee
Yep.
was on Fox News. The question from the no, it wasn't Fox News. It was a snippet of her on CNN.
Okay.
You must be happy to see the Democrats tearing each other apart. That was the question to her. And she gave an answer which I did not get all of. But I can synopsize it somewhat by saying, no, the correct answer is I'm not very happy to see them tearing each other apart. I would be very happy to see them reach across the table and say, reach across the aisle and say, let's work together and fix our country.
I think that probably wraps up 85 to 95% of the American people.
Yeah.
Yeah. These politicians that think that they're doing such a great job by opposing the other side, they're not. They're just hurting the whole country.
Hurting the whole country, indeed. Indeed. Oh, friends, a piece of paper has come to the top here.
Uh-oh. It's a green one, too.
Yep. And this, folks, is good news for all of you. I investigated the mortality tables, and I found an 81-year-old Caucasian male in good health has an additional 7.8 years left in his life on average. This is great news for you viewers of this program.
Guess who he's talking about? So what are you going to do with your 7.8 years?
Well, I'm going to continue with this program.
Okay.
And in fact, I know she gets tired early, I may look at getting transcripts made up for Thelma so that she can read them at her leisure. and maybe share them with her friends.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. Think about it, Thelma. But 7 more years. Yeah, I did not expect that. Because the average age for a white male being born today, I think, is in the high 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've gone through the childhood diseases and the stupidity of my teenage years, and done all my dumb things and managed to get through it. So I think mine goes out a little bit.
When you take the overall lifespan, there's so many factors in there that it's kind of hard to put it into one person saying, well, you're so and so age, and then
Yeah.
But where you broke yours out of specifics, it's a lot more accurate.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you take, even if a war breaks out,
Yeah.
the lifespan of the average lifespan of the
Straight
male,
up.
yeah, it slides right down.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you're absolutely right. I meant to say down, but I was thinking of deaths going up. But nonetheless, yeah, there's a lot of factors involved here. But anyway, so friends, isn't that great news? Wonder how many plaudits we'll get for that.
Oh, I don't. Many.
I imagine so.
Probably donations too.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hope.
absolutely.
Plain paper bags.
Yeah, big ones.
I like this. Here's a quick little transcript from one of my phone calls that I received. Hi, this is David from Medicare Services. Me. So you work for the U.S. government? Him. Yes. I said, so where are you calling from? DeLand, Florida. I said, what do you want? Did you receive your new Medicare card last week? I said, no, I didn't. And before you say anything else, go, and I told him something that was physically impossible. Number one, friends, if you get this call, bear in mind a couple of things. Medicare will never call you.
That's right.
Okay? And second of all, if he was from Medicare, why did the name of someone from Blackstone, Massachusetts appear on the phone ID?
Yeah, that's right.
And if I said no, I didn't get my card, he would have immediately said, well, give me your number of your existing card, and I will make sure the new one goes out today.
As obvious as it is that to you and I sitting here, if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Last night, just by chance, I happened to watch a Simpsons.
Oh, those are great shows.
When they got scammed. Grandpa got scammed first.
Oh, no.
And then Homer says he'd never get scammed. Well, then he got scammed too. But it was that same old,
Yeah.
I'm in jail. I need you to send me $500.
I got that call 5 years ago. Oh, by the way, our Father Conley,
I had heard that.
our wonderful pastor, got scammed to the tune of about $3,000.
Yeah, But that one's quite effective on senior citizens
It
that
is.
got grandkids and stuff, and then they go, oh my God, they've never been in trouble in their life.
I got a call, and he said, Grandpa, how are you? I'm in trouble. And I said, who's this? He said, your grandson. I said, which one? He said, yes. I said, is this Edward? He said, yup.
Yep, right.
I said, Edward, get an honest job. I don't have any grandsons.
There's nobody named
Yeah,
Edward.
little.
Nah,
Then I called him a name, and then
they hang up right away.
they ply on the elderly
Oh.
who are And a few of us elders are easily confused. And if they manage to hit it right,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm in jail in Quebec, Canada, trumped up charges, and they said they will not let me out for less than $3,000 surety bail, da 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 da. This is a hellhole I'm in. This is the only phone call I can make today. They're feeding me crap, and on it goes.
Well, somebody very close in our house, somebody very close to her, relative-wise, Monica got a call. She's in trouble and locked up in Africa.
Well, no, that's not a good place to be locked up.
Oh, and it's terrible. I mean, she probably won't going to survive the night if she needs it. Right, Monica says, Christ, I know, I won't mention her name, she ain't got enough money to get out of the county. There's no way in hell she could get to Africa.
And not only that, but let's really and truly think about this. If you wired money to someone in jail in Africa, what are the chances
It would ever get there?
it would ever get to her?
They wouldn't.
I'm telling you. Year over year, our 7% inflation rate is the highest since
it's
1982.
Yeah, 40-some years.
Yeah, and I took the bride out for a little day out, and we went shopping over to Roach Brothers. Empty shelves.
Yeah, we went to Stop and Shop. What is today? Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
Went Saturday. We usually don't go on Saturday.
Yeah.
We did go Saturday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very busy, and I had seen that thing in the Chronicle. Oh, empty shelves, empty shelves. There wasn't that much at Stop and Shop.
Yeah.
There was a few things here and there, but no.
Yeah. We went over on Sunday, which is not a good day to go shopping. It's busy as hell. But I said, now maybe, just maybe, some of this is the fact that they restocked the shelves on Monday.
That's
Monday
yeah.
morning, or the overnight shift that comes in Sunday night starts, and they're at it all day. So I was actually, out of curiosity, going to take a ride over there today and actually I need bread, so
No.
and see what the shelves look like. But there's too many empty ones for me to feel comfortable.
Yeah, there are some.
Yeah.
And we usually use this Stop and Shop there right there in Foxborough, the first one there on 140. And I've learned over the 2 years, because I had to do the shopping when she was going through chemo and everything. Don't go there before 11:30 or 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because it takes them that long time. The trucks get in for the stuff to get back out. If
Mm-hmm.
you went at 10 o'clock, it's empty. But by noon, they're already stocking that for that day
They've
again.
got quite a crew that comes in.
Yeah.
And I think some of it is suppliers people too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them work for the vendors.
Right.
They're not, particularly all the chips, the sodas, all them. They're not handled by the store at all.
Right. Right.
But they had some shortages, and they were spotty. There wasn't whole sections. With the exception, well, cream cheese. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I understand somebody said it's the containers, not the idea of cream
It could
cheese.
well be.
They brought in something from Mexico, and it looks like cream cheese. It kind of tastes like cream cheese, but it's got the consistency of lard.
Gee, that sounds
It
great.
is. If you put it on a bagel, you better have a hot bagel and let it sit there for a
By
minute.
the way, my wife loves cottage cheese.
I do too.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't stand the
There's
consistency
There is
of it.
no middle ground in cottage cheese.
Yeah.
You like it or you despise
Yeah,
it.
like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
I even
But
found
cream cheese I like.
cream cheese.
Yeah, on bagels.
And I think cottage cheese, the biggest complaint with cottage cheese, like you said, it's texture.
Yeah. Yeah,
People
oh yeah.
cannot stand those little globbles.
Ugh.
And cream cheese or cottage cheese is, I find, a big difference because I use cottage cheese for diet stuff.
Yeah.
It's good protein, it's relatively low carb, and but there's a big difference. I found Hood's the best, as far as consistency of consistency, texture, and taste.
Yep.
Stop and Shop's own brand is good. One of the worst ones is Daisy,
Okay.
and Breakstone's not good either. For me, anyway, I just don't like the way the
Yeah,
texture.
you
on
know, my wife, said I do most of the shopping, and she likes Hood's Light
it. Yeah,
cream cheese.
Yep.
In a blue container about that big.
I always buy the light.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that brings up an interesting subject. I like oatmeal bread.
Yeah, I like high texture breads too.
And the house brand at Roach Brothers is better than the Pepperidge Farm bread
Oh yeah,
for
sometimes.
$2 a loaf more. Which brings up the house brand issue. You know, usually the house brand it always is less money. But I buy the house brand instant oatmeal.
Yep.
You
Well,
cannot tell the difference between it and Quaker.
Yep.
But where it really comes home is a couple of cereals I like. Honey Nut Cheerios,
Yep.
but the house brand,
Yep.
Honey Oats,
Yeah.
is better.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah, it's less sweet.
Yeah.
So you're saving 40 cents or whatever, and it's tastier.
But I find the same thing that's interesting that you said about the oatmeal, the boxed oatmeal
Yep.
stuff. Stop and Shop's is better than the name brand also.
Really?
And I
Wow.
suspect they're probably between Stop and Shop and Roach and Shaw's and they're buying these off of a vendor someplace and
Sure.
they're just putting a different label on
Oh
it.
yeah, a no-name vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in whatever container
Whatever
you
name you
want.
want.
Yeah. Oh sure.
I worked for a canning company in college like
Yeah.
that. We had 40 different brands in that warehouse.
Yeah.
You want DeMonte? Bloop, they run DeMonte. You want Kroger's? Bloop, they run Kroger's.
When I worked at the Foxborough Company, I saw us putting instruments out with somebody else's name on them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what they say they want, Bill, and
That's what they get.
and that's what they get.
And psychologically, it makes a difference for
It
the
does.
consumer on the other end.
It does.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you how bad maybe bad, it's just the idea. I dealt with different aspects of the defense. Also dealt with the artisans.
Mm-hmm.
We made gravers and things that you gouge out rings and stuff when you make a class ring, for example, or a Super Bowl ring. Well, these things are set and made by hands by artisans, and they count up the initials and the name and everything.
Sure.
Okay, I would go to one of the local. There's two big manufacturers in Rhode Island, and I'd go there, and we made the gravers. We made them in Switzerland. One would go. You go to their workstations. Then they were always old. I mean, these guys died. I don't know who's going to take their part because a lot of them had European accents. They'd done this for 50 years. And one would tell me, your gravers are too hard. I have to put them in a Bunsen burner and soften them up. They're just too hard to work with. You go to the next guy, your gravers are too soft. I can't get the life out of them anymore. So, there was the same graver. We only made one grade. We made 100 different styles, but one grade of metal. So, the New Jersey warehouse, I said, when I put the order in for a 2219, I want an S on the end of it.
Soft.
And I want an H on this
Yep.
guy's orders. So they were getting them in with S's and H, and they were happy.
Exactly the same thing.
They were happy. They're much better now, young man. I can grave like I should, like I used to.
Yep. Amazing.
You wanted just like you wanted to laugh, but you didn't dare.
Yeah. When I was at Foxborough, part of I was involved with the valves, final control elements, and the actuation and the instrumentation that worked with the valves, the control valves. And one of the products that I had in my section of the price book was a power drive, a Luva power drive. It's basically a box with a piston operator inside of it, and it would run a quarter turn shaft that had a cam on it, and that thing would then have linkage that would go up to the ceiling to connect to a louver, and it would open or close it, or put it at some point in the middle. We called it the Louvertrol. I bought it complete from Hagen Manufacturing, with a Foxborough company nameplate on it that said Foxborough Louvertrol Power Drive, model whatever the hell it was. There was 3 different sizes. Well, my boss, Bob Shaw, who was a great guy, I loved him dearly, came to me one day and said, Bill, you know, this is silly. We're trying to clean up the price book, and we have a delineation between Foxborough devices, which were on white pages,
Okay.
and buyouts that were on brown. And he said, we've got the Louvertrol on white pages, but there's nothing of Foxborough content except the label. He said, I'm just going to put them on brown pages. I said, Bob, that's going to hurt business. The guys will sell Foxborough products. They don't even look at the brown sheets unless they're told they have to. Well, it's not your decision, Bill. I'm going to clean up this price book. I said, fine. So he wrote me a letter, and I replied to him, and I said, Bob, in my humble opinion, you will see a big drop in sales. Now, these devices were like $3,000 or $4,000 a piece, okay? The big size. We were selling about 400 a year. When we put it on a brown sheet, we sold 2 the following year.
Oh, yeah.
I dropped him a note, and I said, gee, what's 400 devices times X thousands of dollars? He balled up the note and threw it on my desk.
Yep.
But it's amazing what a name like Foxborough,
Yep. Oh, yeah.
or Stanley,
Yep.
means on a product.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We made chainsaw files in Switzerland,
yeah,
and we had our name and Velorb, which was us in Switzerland. Certain manufacturers, like they say, like Oregon, or they wanted those chainsaw files, but they had to be one or the other. And only difference was the color of the box.
yeah.
They wouldn't take them if they were in the blue box because they were coming from New Jersey. They had to be in the brown box. There were Velorbs from Switzerland. They were all coming out of the same bin. They were just putting them in brown Velorb box or blue Gros Bay boxes.
But you see, the thing was, the Foxborough had this reputation that put yourself in our hands with
Right,
all of your automation business, your problems. We will take care of everything, from sales to delivery to service.
Oh,
So that's what the customers told us.
and they believe it.
Yeah. If something goes wrong with that Louvertrol, I call the local Foxborough service guy. He comes in the next morning and fixes it.
Yep. You can take a tool, take a precision tool that these guys are working with. If he thinks he's got the best one out there,
Yep.
it works perfect.
Yeah.
If you tell him, convince him that this one's crap, he sees it that way.
Yeah.
There's really no difference, but psychologically, it works.
Yeah. And you know what? The other thing, too, is if you've got a factory full of Foxborough devices, why would you buy Jack's device over here, Jack being a no-name, cheap device, and bring it in? Might work just as well as the Foxborough, but you're sticking your neck way out.
Plus, you're decreasing your sale dollar.
Yeah.
Each time you sell one of those, as opposed to the other one.
Yeah. And not only that, but the guy that makes that decision in engineering or in maintenance at a company, at Dow Chemical, buys the cheap one, okay? And it fails. And they have to shut down a line.
Yeah.
Then the plant manager comes and says, who is the GD fool that bought this piece of crap?
Yeah.
Bring him on! And nobody wants to be put in that position.
Tell me.
So if you buy the Foxborough device, you're on safe ground.
Amen.
Yep. And you get your full retirement.
There you go.
And your butt will be in one piece.
That's right.
Not torn apart by the boss. Well, do you realize 80% of Americans approve of a voter ID?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you realize that the African American community approves of it I believe it's like 57 or 67% of black Americans agree that it's the right thing to do.
We're one of the few countries in the world that don't have a national ID.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And by the way, do you remember watching Live Cops?
Oh, yeah.
And down south, let me see your ID. Down south, they all had to have an ID.
Yep, that's right.
Now, what's this business about? Well, some people just, it inconveniences them. They don't have the wherewithal to go get an ID.
Yeah,
well, you know what? That's a bunch of malarkey.
That is malarkey. That's pure malarkey. A lot of that stems from people like the ACLU. They are so paranoid about privacy and rights and all this stuff that they do it to the detriment of the country. And
believe me, I'm absolutely 100% in agreement with you. Yeah. And also, certain factions are using it for political advantage. And there is no truth to a lot of their claims. Look, I made a list one day and I got as high as 29 things you do in everyday life that you have to show an ID.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, from buying liquor, buying beer, going to the registry of motor vehicles, getting hairdressers. There's one, you have to show an ID to get a hairdresser's appointment in a couple of states or something, because the hairdressers have to be state licensed. They have to have a photo ID to present to you. It just goes on and on and on. And some of it, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, the ACLU types, I don't understand if they had a bad childhood or what the hell. Why are they so involved and so afraid of things? And they said, well, it's this and that. It's not. I just saw that. Sorry, I don't remember the name. I just happened to glance at it. I think one of the candidates for Rollins' spot. Heaven help us.
Yeah.
And she was bad enough, but now she's in a position where she can even do more damage. One of the candidates that's going to run is a former ACLU person.
Well.
Good Lord.
Have you been reading the Globe?
Yeah.
They are banging their fist on the table on the editorial page that her successor has got to be a clone of her.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And no, we don't
You
want
can't
that.
go back on what she's accomplished.
She
And
did not accomplish much of it. I think she was more detriment than an asset.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Between her and the Attorney General,
Yep.
and that whole mess at the labs, we're now, so anybody convicted, as they sift through the paperwork, they're releasing from prison. Well, she was convicted, or he was convicted on faulty evidence by the cheaters in the lab. But yet, that Ducan, or whatever her name
Yeah,
was,
I know.
she walked with what, 3 years?
Something like that.
Yeah,
It was-
1 year in jail and 2 years of home confinement or some such thing. All the money and the lives that she has caused to be lost in this state. Because, friends, this may come as a shock to you, but all the drug possession prisoners are not just good people that have gotten off the rails. They're violent criminals that are involved in the trafficking of drugs. And you know what happens when you don't pay your drug dealer? You get your legs broke. You get a
doesn't-
bullet in the head.
doesn't just lower your credit rating.
No, right. So you are putting bad people back on the street who are what? They're going out there. They have no skills. That's another story for another day. But so what do? They fall back to what? Dealing drugs.
The life they knew.
And the life they knew. Absolutely. And who does it affect?
Yep.
And me. And you. That's who it affects. I was looking through a list of opportunities, job opportunities for young people, fields they need to go into. It took me to a website of jobs no longer needed. Milkman,
That's true. Very few.
elevator operator,
Oh my God! Yeah, I just.
linotype operator,
Yep. That's all. Computers killed all that.
a Gandy dancer. Now, you know what a Gandy dancer is?
I did. Let me think. Dandy dancer. It's not. It's not a dancer. I know
No,
that.
it's a maintenance guy for railroad tracks.
That's right.
Yep. Chimney sweeps. Now, that's wrong
They
because
still
chimney
do that,
sweeps
yeah.
are still alive and well. A Billy Boy.
Now wait a minute, Billy Boy. What was the Billy Boy? Do you know?
Trainee apprentices that they would use to make tea for the workers as they learned.
I had no idea. I thought I heard the term before, but obviously not.
A pin setter in a
Oh.
bowling alley.
Did that in high school?
Yep. Did you ever get hit?
You're damn close. I learned never put the ball back in the rack to go take back before you're done with that rack and set up on
Yep.
on the thing, because there's always some idiot that gets it back there. He's going to throw right away.
Gun
You're
it right
still-
on down.
Right, you're still in the pit, and he's going to throw.
Yep. A telephone switchboard operator.
Yeah, that's
A typist.
another thing. Yep.
A clock winder.
Yeah, oh yeah. Some places they had the guys would go around and
Big companies and
Yep.
all, they go around winding the clocks. Towns, they had clock winders.
yeah, they did.
An iceman.
Yep.
The knocker upper, which isn't quite as exciting as it sounds. It's people with long poles to tap on your window to wake you up to make sure you don't oversleep.
Oh boy.
Like an alarm clock.
Yeah.
A lamp lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an interesting one, the last one. Elector. Elector was used to read news and literature to bench workers.
Really?
Who knew?
Yeah. Huh.
Ah, dear. Well, one more bit about COVID. The highest percentage of fully vaccinated populations. 5 of the 6 New England states rank in the top 10 nationally. Vermont is the highest, 75.4. Rhode Island is second, Maine is third, Connecticut is fourth, and Massachusetts is fifth. 1 through 5. Then West Virginia, 71%.
Yeah, that they accepted that right out of the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, they jumped right on it.
Yeah. New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia follow, with Virginia being at 66.8. So it goes from 75.4 to 66.8. The lowest, Idaho.
That's what I was going to say.
Yep.
Utah should be up there. No, maybe not Utah.
No, not
because
Utah.
of the Mormons.
But you're in the right
Yeah.
geographic location. Idaho, then Wyoming.
Yeah.
Then Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And the lowest percentage of fully vaccinated population is Idaho with 45.8, and then the fifth is Louisiana, 49.6. So
Yeah,
it
I
runs
think-
between 45 and 50.
I think that the ideological differences, though, between the Idaho and the Mississippi, Georgia, and
Yes.
Louisiana, is they're unvaccinated for different reasons.
That's exactly right.
Totally different reasons.
Totally different.
Idaho is I hate the government. They're not going to tell me what the hell to do. We're militia run. We're
It's a
this, that.
political deal.
And those southern states are just the southern states.
The
They're
southern
just slow
states.
moving and just everything moves like molasses, and they don't
Yeah.
get anything done.
Yeah. And there's quite a social distancing
exactly.
in that hue. And some folks are slow to do what another group does. So I was somewhat upset the other day, and I penned off an editorial. Define empty. Containing nothing, lacking value, sense, or purpose. How's Biden doing with Russia, China, and North Korea? He's a laughing stock of world politics. But the progressives love him because they are, at heart, America haters. How's he doing with Build Back Better, the voting reform bill, his hallmark legislation? It's all dead. He's trying to whip up support behind closed doors in secret. Guess what? It's not working. The latest Quinnipiac polls, college polls, show Biden with a 33% approval rating and a 53% disapproval rating, and that means that some 14% are dithering.
Don't care one way or another.
Why do you suppose that is? Well, I started this editorial off with the word empty. Now, as we were taught in school, use empty in a sentence. President Biden is an empty president.
5.
He's empty on ideas,
5.
empty on performance, empty on his ability to communicate. The market shelves are empty. The supply chain is blocked, so the stores are empty. Our wallets are empty because of gas prices. His promises are empty, such as squishing the virus and providing the best economy in this first year of any presidency. And because gas prices are skyrocketing because of his insane handling of our energy resources as he shuts down pipelines, tries to stop drilling for oil and gas, and at the same time, with huge resources in the ground, he begs Russia and OPEC to pump more and ship it over here for us to pay.
Yeah, some of those things are absurd.
Now, look over there in the corner and see who that is laughing and giggling hysterically. Why, it's Putin. He must have quite an opinion of the American public electing this very sad and weak stick figure as our president. It's really incredible. He never speaks to America, has no press conferences, and has only short cameos on the fawning media's news shows, where he answers 4 or 5 softball questions he's rehearsed for 3 days, reading the answers off the teleprompter. Wow. Joe in Wonderland as a sequel to Alice in Wonderland might be quite a show. But Joe wouldn't be able to remember his lines. And as if he didn't have enough problems, Bernie Sanders and the progressives have turned on him because he can't get anything done. My prediction is that he will retreat to his cellar where he hid in the run-up to the election, and he will spend the next 3 years drinking Kool-Aid and watching repeats of that 70s show during the day, and at night binge watch all 264 episodes of Murder, She Wrote, trying to figure out who did it before Jessica Lansbury traps the murderer. Yes, that will be quite a picture of Joe sitting in front of the TV in his jammies with the feet in them.
Yep, 2 will.
Jan Pataki will probably put his feet in his proper leggings for him. And doing all this while Putin conquers Europe. But Joe's happy there in the cellar eating his ice cream. The moral of the story, don't ever trust a plagiarist. P.S. Here's a swell question for your next cocktail party. What U.S. president really said in a speech in Atlanta, if you don't support this voting rights bill, you are a racist? I'll give you the answer next week.
Yeah.
I didn't like writing this. It came out so negative.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also true.
Yeah, well, some of that, it always is that way. If you're the man in the seat, you take responsibility, whether it's your fault or not. You may have some dog in the fight, but you don't have all the dogs in the fight. But you got to be able to sit there and say, yes, I am responsible. The buck stops here, like Truman used to say. We haven't seen that in a president for a long, long time.
Nope.
We had the 2 before him. The buck never stopped there.
That's right.
It went right over their head. And now all this stuff in Biden, he doesn't know enough to say, well, gee, I don't know. And that's all heaping on him now, and he doesn't know what to do with it.
And he admits it
Yeah.
by saying to the press, wait a minute, I can't answer that question. I can't take any questions. They won't let me.
Mm-hmm.
They won't let me.
Yeah, well, he's not comfortable enough in public appearances to handle anything extraneous.
Yeah.
It has to be rehearsed.
Programmed,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, folks, we've come to the end of the first section of our extravaganza. Stay tuned, there's more to come.
Be good.